freebies that are thrown in when customers buy something. They have become more diverse and have improved in quality. Why are companies investing in freebie marketing? Chinese IT firms rapidly emerging in the global markets. What are their secrets and how should Korea, the IT powerhouse, react? Korean technology is challenging the smart glass market dominated by Google. We will meet the next generation smart glass technology that's further upgraded with application of optical technology. Car black boxes, which were mainly used to record visual data, have become smarter with information and communications technology. We introduce you to multifunctional black boxes that have established themselves as a core part of smart cars. Bribery even makes North Korean people to overlook Kim Jong-un's special instructions. We will look into the reality of North Korea, where bribery is rampant in its society and where people even buy and sell freedom and human rights.
Hello, I'm Andrew Salmon and welcome to Bizline. Now, in order to upgrade the feel-good factor when consumers are shopping, merchants tend to throw in a few little extras to help sell their products. And of course, people are happy when they get something for nothing, and this trend has even reached the point where some consumers are buying products just to get the freebies. But in commercial terms, doesn't this mean the tail is wagging the dog? Why are companies so focused on freebie marketing, and who do these freebies actually benefit?
Freebies are no longer something that do not matter if they exist or not. Today, they are set to take over the place of primary products or the products we pay for, turning into a key factor that affects consumers' decision-making in making purchases. They are quickly emerging as a new consumption trend. This office lady has a hobby of buying the same bread. As the bread comes with stickers of characters she loves, she has been buying the bread to collect the stickers. Now, she is in an ironic situation in which the tail is wagging the dog.
처음에는 호기심으로 사게 되었고요. 다음에는 이제 계속 사다 보니까 스티커가 모으는 게 재미있더라고요. 또 다양하게 많이 들어있어가지고 모으는 재미가 있어가지고 지금까지도 이제 빵보다는 스티커 때문에 빵을 주로 사고 있는 편입니다.
Cacao Friends bread is tremendously popular among adults in their 20s and 30s. Its sales reached $15 million in just 6 months after its release. The secret is in the stickers rather than the bread itself. Its popularity went up further as those who bought the bread posted their validation photos on various online bulletin boards. We are actually experiencing an irony in which consumers love the freebies thrown in the deal more than the primary products people pay for. This does not just end with bread. In various markets, the influence of freebies has grown significantly. The tail is now wagging the dog. At the end of each year, Starbucks holds an event to give its New Year's planners as a gift to regular customers. Customers gladly drink 17 cups of beverages to get the planner. The competition for the planner is quite fierce. The coffee brand's sales in the last month of each year rise more than 20% from other months. We can find more cases of giveaways in hypermarkets or discount stores. They are luring customers by throwing in an extra piece of the same product or a new product as freebies. Customers are definitely delighted by this.
커피를 사면 텀블러를 증정하는 식으로 연계된 상품을 사은품으로 증정하는 그런 프로모션이 증가하고 있습니다. 이런 것 같은 경우 매출이 전년 대비 한 20% 정도 성장하고 있습니다.
Amid a ferocious competition in the market, quality of products has become similar to one another. So the retailer's strategy to lure customers with freebies, along with the primary items, has been successful.
아무래도 경제가 어렵다 보니 기왕이면 제품을 사는데 뭘 하나 더 끼워주고 선물, 사은품이라는 것은 지금 같은 사회 분위기에는 사람들을 설득시키기에 참 좋은 하나의 전략이라고 보여집니다.
In the past, retailers lured consumers to buy things by giving them an extra piece of the same product or by sharply discounting prices of the products. Now, the freebie marketing in which retailers give high-quality free gifts to consumers when they buy things is proving to be more effective. According to an e-coupon service company's analysis of coupon usage patterns, freebie coupon was dominantly used by customers with a 64.7% figure according to the polls.
구매를 하러 오면 행사 같은 거 많이 해서 같은 제품이면은 그런 행사 품목을 사는 편입니다.
Giving free gifts is also a strategy widely used by home shopping channels. To survive the competition with other home shopping channels and rival products, they put a lot of effort into freebies. GS Shop has also joined the race.
사은품으로 리미티드 제품을 붙일 때가 간혹 있어요. 이거는 정말로 말하자면 비매품 같은 건데 어딜 가도 여기 외에는 구할 수 없는 그런 특별 사은품을 홈쇼핑용으로 개발을 해서 붙이곤 하거든요. 이제 그런 것 때문에서라도 고객들이 그게 갖고 싶어서 구매를 하시는 경우가 있어요.
Product mix of freebies sometimes becomes the key to boosting sales. So home shopping companies carefully select free gifts in the same way they select primary items, testing their quality and going through several verification stages before deciding on them.
먹고 쓰고 바르는 그런 제품들은 고객님들이 구매를 하는 니즈는 나는 이걸 사용하겠다라는 게 분명하기 때문에 그런 고객님들한테는 다른 사은품을 드리는 것보다 같은 본구성을 하나 더 드리는 거를 더 메리트로 생각을 하시고요. 기계라든지 아니면 몸에 착용하는 옷, 뭐 공산품 같은 경우에는 이미 있는 거는 뭐 사라지지 않기 때문에 고객님이 선물을 할 수 있는 다른 용도로 쓰실 수 있는 물건이나 리미티드한 제품을 드렸을 때 가장 반응이 좋은 것 같습니다.
Most of all, the free gift has to be an attractive product that consumers want to buy separately. By raising the quality of the free gift, the primary product's value will also go up. Consequently, freebies sometimes turn into primary products. Winnie and Mondo has launched an event to provide kimchi as a free gift to those who buy kimchi refrigerators. Thanks to the word of mouth on how good the kimchi is, more and more customers ask for the kimchi, and now the company is making and selling the kimchi as a separate product. What the freebies provide and how the freebies are provided have become a crucial factor that determines the success of a company. It is time companies change their company-oriented perspective to customer-oriented ones to provide the freebies customers want.
기업은 사은품이라는 것을 단순히 단기적인 관심을 끌기 위한 용도로 가져간다라면은 아마 그 브랜드, 그 기업은 나중에 부메랑이 되어서 돌아올 것입니다. 품질에 대한 의구심이라든지 또는 지나치게 단편적으로 현혹용 마케팅을 했다라는 그런 부정적 인식으로 돌아올 수 있기 때문에 사은품에 대한 마케팅 설계를 할 때는 좀 더 먼 미래를 바라보고 단기적인 효과만이 아니라 장기적으로 자기 기업과 브랜드의 가치를 훼손하지 않는 범위에서 설계를 하는 것이 좋을 것 같습니다.
The economic paradox of the tail wagging the dog, which will determine the success of a company, or the economics of freebies, has begun. The one that survives the competition over the tail will rise as the winner of the market, and this will change the dynamics of related industries.
A digital dragon is storming global IT markets. Chinese manufacturers now account for over half of the world's top 10 smartphone makers, and in China's giant domestic market, Xiaomi has overtaken Samsung. Meanwhile, Chinese firms like Alibaba, by marrying the workshop of the world with efficient online distribution, are changing the face of retail. So, in this battle between dragon and tiger, where does this leave Korean IT firms? These are some of the questions we have for our guest today. He's a Professor of Business Administration in the elite Korea University right here in Seoul. Dr. Kim Ik-soo, welcome to Bizline.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
Okay. Let's start off with some figures. How strong is the performance of the Chinese IT firms? Can you give us some concrete data?
Okay, Chinese IT firms are increasingly become competitive in global market. Let me first speak of PC players.
Okay.
Lenovo is the top player in the global PC market, accounting for more than 20% of the total global market.
Lenovo is number one. I wasn't aware of that.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
It's suppressing the market share of Hewlett Packard, which is 18%, and Dell, which is about 13%. With respect to telecom equipment maker, Huawei is the forerunner in the global equipment market, dividing the global market together with Cisco Systems,
Okay,
and they are very strong in emerging market. Then, when it comes to the smartphones, Chinese Lenovo, Huawei, recent days Xiaomi is having a great presence in the global marketplace. Xiaomi, the number one player in Chinese market, has become the number 3 player in the global market, actually making inroads into the market share of big 2, which is Apple and Samsung.
Of course. So, I mean, this is a very, very strong performance, almost a sudden performance. I wasn't aware, for example, of Lenovo's strong market share. Tell us, what is behind this strong performance? Is it simply cheap, efficient manufacturing? Is it government support? Is it tech research? You know, what's underlaying this?
Well, it is true that Chinese products are very cheap and reasonably competitive in terms of price. Also, it is supported by the government institutions.
Yeah.
But we should not ignore the fact that Chinese brands are also led by very innovative entrepreneurs like Lei Jin of Xiaomi Corporation, and also very Schumpeterian sort of entrepreneurs in many IT service sectors.
Let's talk a little bit about Xiaomi. Now, it's been accused of being a copycat manufacturer that's winning market share by pricing very, very low. This, of course, is exactly the strategy which Korean IT companies used in the 1980s and early 1990s to seize market share from European and Japanese competitors. And it was very, very successful as a strategy for Korean companies. Is it going to be equally successful as a strategy for Xiaomi?
Well, Xiaomi is very successful in domestic market, but they are trying to expand across borders to international market. But they are, facing great challenge by the past government. For example, they try to get into Indian market, but they are faced with a sue by Ericsson, Swedish telecom maker, that they infiltrated the patent of Ericsson patent. So that is the challenge not faced in the domestic markets.
Right.
So as it goes into overseas market, Xiaomi will face lots of checks and threats. Also some sort of breaks by global leaders. So that is another constraint faced by Xiaomi. But as far as domestic market is concerned, they are doing quite well. Chasing Huawei and Lenovo, which are the national champions of telecom market.
Gotcha. Let's talk about the elements of the tech business sort of one by one. Let's start with technology. How wide is the technological gap right now between China and Korea?
If we narrow the scope to IT sectors, in semiconductor industry, Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix is leading the industry, and the technology gap is more than 5 years. But with regard to other industries like panel display and consumer electronics, the technology gap is narrowing down to 2 to 3 years. So the gap is actually very narrow. And the competition is becoming stiffer and stiffer between Korean and Chinese companies. So we have to watch out how Chinese companies are doing in the future.
Let's talk about capitalization now. How successful are Chinese firms at raising capital to fund their operations?
As you have witnessed, they are very successful in raising capital in international markets. To take Alibaba as an example, they were very successful in raising more than $22 billion in the New York Stock Exchange. And Tencent, another counterpart of the IT service sector, actually they were listed in Hong Kong Stock Exchange, raising about $10 billion. And also Huawei and other many digital contents companies or listed in Nasdaq exchange. So they are very successful in raising overseas capital. Also, they can issue new stocks and bonds in international as well as domestic markets. So they are very comfortable in raising funds.
When it comes to funding, they're well sorted. Let's talk about global marketing and branding. How successful are they? Are they strong brands yet, would you say, globally?
Well, Lenovo, Haier in consumer electronics, they are very strong in branding. I mean the brand recognition. Also, the Xiaomi, Lenovo is very strong in telecom sector, and TCL is also very good. But if we are talking about branding strategy, there are no genuine branding strategy on the part of Chinese companies because brand itself does not just trademarks on the products. It represents firms' value and efforts to cater to the demands of consumers, also their innovativeness of their technology and their level of entrepreneurship. But Chinese companies, although they are chasing Korean and Japanese companies, but their genuine technology and originality of their technology is still behind the standard, global standard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very clearly these Chinese firms are chasing and catching up with international firms. And of course, in Korea, companies like Samsung Electronics, LG Electronics, Hynix Semicon are critical to the local economy. They're big players here. What do Korean IT firms need to do to stay ahead in this competition?
Well, it's very difficult to maintain the technology gap and keep ahead of the Chinese competitors. And there is some significant threat from Chinese companies in consumer electronics and smartphones. But many Korean conglomerate companies, including Samsung and LG Electronics, they are not just sitting around and looking on the China challenge with folded arms. They will react to those China challenge by introducing new strategies and new products and developing new markets. Already there are signs that Samsung Group is regrouping their strategy and reorienting their strategy to respond to China's challenge. They actually move up the date of launching the state-of-the-art Galaxy 6 phones, and they also introduced cheap, low price smartphones to emerging markets, including India and China.
Right.
So they are trying to maintain and implement that sort of dual track strategy.
High-end,
high-end products in advanced market and low-price products in emerging markets.
Let's move from tech manufacturers to tech service firms. You mentioned Alibaba just now, and Alibaba, Tencent, and Baidu, darlings. They're champions among international investors. Do you think this is a long-term trend? Or do you think with this massive capitalization there's a bubble forming?
Yes, it is true that Alibaba and Tencent are the main pillars of the Chinese IT service sector. So it's going to be a long-term trend as far as mobile and e-commerce is concerned.
Yeah.
But with regard to the capitalization in international market, there are some elements of overstatement, particularly in the case of Alibaba.
Yeah.
But we have to, admit that Alibaba is a great company with huge network resources. Because in China there are about 800 million smartphone users and more than 500 million internet users. So by incorporating and accommodating those internet and smartphone users, Alibaba can actually expand their business in the future.
But let's talk about Alibaba, not just in China, but internationally. I mean, it seems like a brilliant model. You're marrying this great low-cost manufacturing base with a very efficient, multilingual online distribution platform. Is Alibaba going to change the face of retail, not just in China, but around the world?
Yeah, it is already changing the landscape of global trade. We can cut down the transaction cost, actually economize tariff. Alibaba is doing a great contribution to this narrower and a smaller world. And Alibaba is actually capitalizing on the benefits of the borderless economy. And many Korean companies actually enjoying the boon of this borderless world. They can get the products, cheaper products from the Chinese market and other side of the world through Alibaba. And many small and medium-sized companies actually want to make inroads into China market. They don't know how to and where to get in. But by using the window of Alibaba, they can actually very conveniently and reasonably get the location and electronic commerce site in Alibaba. And all they have to do is just pay certain security deposit and annual fees and service fees. Okay?
And they're in.
Yeah, and then consumer is linked to the supplier in Korea with a very cheap cost. And so in that
so
sense,
it works both ways.
Yeah, Alibaba is doing a great contribution.
Okay. Okay, and the last question, I suppose, is the big picture question of this interview. Korean high-tech manufacturers started really competing in the 1980s, came of age in the 90s, and by the millennium had overtaken many counterparts, their European and Japanese counterparts. That's a great success story, but are we going to see the same situation repeated, albeit with Chinese companies now overtaking the Korean companies?
Yes, you are right. When we talk about IT industry itself is a short cycle industry.
Yeah.
So technological progress is very rapid. If you don't accelerate the R&D efforts, you'll be caught up by the coming companies.
Yeah.
So in that sense, Korean companies may be caught up or chased by Chinese companies in the same way as we did in the 20 years ago or 10 years ago. But as long as we redouble our efforts to R&D and the globalization, we can actually maintain and sometimes expand the technology gap and the brand gap between China and Korea. So that depends on our efforts and how that comes out.
Are you optimistic or pessimistic?
I'm cautiously optimistic about the future of Korean firms.
Okay.
Actually, Korean firms actually managed to stick around in the global market despite all the financial difficulties in 1990s and in 2008. So I'm quite sure that Samsung Electronics, LG Electronics will take some countermeasures to stay their head above water in the face of the Chinese challenge.
Let's hope so. So clearly the Chinese challenge is very significant for the Korean economy, but don't count the Koreans out just yet.
That's right.
Dr. Kim, thank you very much
Thank you very
for
much.
being on Bizline.
Thank you.
Here is an app that enables users to easily take pictures and shoot short videos in various styles. App of the week is B612, a popular app that has recently been in the upper ranks of app stores. First, let's choose the number of photos you want to take. Users can select from 2 to 9 photos. They can also take each photo with various facial expressions and from various angles. The app's strength is in its simple interface. When users sweep the screen from top to bottom or from left to right, its front camera changes to rear camera or its filter changes. Users can simultaneously see the completed photos and video clips on a single screen and easily upload them on social media sites.
Smartphones, smartwatches and smart glasses are probably the 3 most important consumer IT technologies to have emerged since 2010. And among the 3, arguably smart glasses are the least popular among consumers. But these gadgets have enormous future potential. Now, Korean researchers have recently integrated optical technology with smart glasses, a sector currently dominated by Google. How important is this development? Let's take a look.
In this year's annual Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas that showcases the buzzworthy technologies and new gadgets of companies around the world, the heat was on wearables again. If it had been smart wristwear in last year's event, the contest this year was all about eyewear. Since the Google Glass introduced the computing eyewear in 2012, companies have been vying to devise clever and multifunctional digital spectacles to push the headset category further, less intrusive and more practical, added with augmented reality factors. The Korea Photonics Technology Institute joined up with a local company to develop spectacles embodying augmented reality factor. The glasses are see-through with images reflected onto the middle so that virtual imagery is laid over the real world.
현실의 어떤 배경을 이용해서 가상 현실을 갖다 올림으로 해가지고 사람의 어떤 사회에서 가상적으로 정보를 갖다 직접적으로 현실 배경에다 줄 수 있는 어떤 그런 걸 갖다 증강 현실이라 할 수가 있는데 저희가 개발한 그 스마트 글래스는 현실 배경을 갖다가 기준으로 해서 시스루형으로 해서 바깥 배경을 보면서 스마트 기기에서 전달하는 영상을 갖다가 그 위에다가 올릴 수 있는 증강 현실의 어떤 기초가 되는 하드웨어를 갖다 제공하기 때문에 앞으로 개발되어야 될 증강 현실의 어떤 기초 단계로 보았을 때는 저희가 세계적으로 가장 먼저 진입할 수 있는 저로의 좋은 기회를 지금 잡은 것이라 생각되고 있습니다.
Instead of using a projected image like in existing smart glasses, this one has optimized lens incorporated with optical engineering prescription.
구글 같은 경우에는 이제 내부적으로 초기 영상을 확대하는 광학에 있어서 프로젝터 방식을 사용하고 있습니다. 반면에 저희는 프로젝터 형태의 광학기를 취하지는 않고 패널에서부터 직접 광학으로 확대를 하는 그런 방식을 취하고 있고 반투과형 이제 반사면과 또 미러면을 활용을 해서 하나의 프리즘에 집적시키는 그런 방식을 취하고 있습니다.
So how exactly does this new generation eyewear experience work?
렌즈는 총 3회의 어떤 광학계로 지금 구성되어 있고요. 그 제일 이제 위쪽에 붙어 있는 그 렌즈는 이제 OLED, 마이크로 OLED로부터 들어오는 저 화면을 갖다 확대해주고 마지막에 있는 그 렌즈들은 이걸 갖다 반사시켜줘서 이제 가상의 공간 앞에서 3m 앞에서 86인치의 화면을 띄워주는 그런 역할을 지금 하게끔 설계가 되어 있습니다. 위에서 내려오는 화면을 갖다가 밑으로 내려오면서 확대를 시키면서 반사를 시켜 앞으로 뿌리게 되어 있습니다. 여기 중간에 있는 게 빔 스플리터고요. 빔 스플리터를 통과해서 이쪽으로 뿌려지게 되어 있습니다.
Despite the complicated lens makeup, the eyewear is lightweight, weighing only 15 grams because it is made of plastic and making it more attractive for consumer purposes.
기존에는 이 무게나 투과율 때문에 쓸 수밖에 없었던 유리 렌즈를 갖다가 이번에 저희가 플라스틱 렌즈로 완벽하게 구현을 함으로써 무게를 혁신적으로 줄여가지고 사용자들로부터 해서 스마트 글래스를 착용했을 때 무게감을 전혀 느낄 수 없는 그런 장점을 가지고 있습니다. 스마트 글래스에 적용한 사례로서는 저희가 이런 형태로 적용했는 경우는 세계 최초이고요. 또 하나는 뭐냐면은 지금 플라스틱 광학계 내에 이제 그 시야를 갖다 분리해주는 빔 스플리터라는 어떤 구조가 들어가는데 그 또한 또 플라스틱으로 구현되어 있지만 그걸 갖다 플라스틱으로 구현한 사례도 세계적으로 최초이고요. 그걸 갖다가 인덱스 매칭이라는 기법을 이용해서 정확하게 그걸 갖다 매칭시켜서 본딩한 사례도 저희가 처음이라고 자부할 수 있습니다.
The optical lens also boasts excellence in picture quality. The image regenerated via the smart spectacle is in high-definition 86-inch display.
저희가 엔터테인먼트용으로 개발을 했기 때문에 구글사 대비 저희가 약 2배 이상의 화각을 가진 화각 40도를 구현해서 3m 기준의 화면을 보면 약 86인치의 화면을 구현을 하고 있습니다. 그리고 저희가 화면의 해상도도 엔터테인먼트에 필요한 HD급을 확보를 해서 지금 현재 구글사 대비 저희가 영상을 즐기기에는 굉장히 강력한 그런 기술을 가지고 있다고 할 수 있겠습니다.
The digital display system has also been embodied into both sides of the spectacles instead of one as in the case with Google Glass. The images on the left and right lens are regenerated through separate digital particles, creating single 3D imagery without any obstructions.
완벽한 3D를 구현을 하기 위해서 양안식을 채택을 했습니다. 양안식이라는 게 뭐냐면은 양쪽 눈에 디스플레이가 각각 한 개씩 붙어 있고요. 똑같은 광학계 두 개가 양쪽에 눈에 붙어 있고 3D를 구현하는 방식이 좌우 시차를 이용하는 방식이 가장 일반적인 방식인데 저희가 이제 구현하는 스마트 글래스에서는 가장 완벽하게 3D를 구현을 할 수 있습니다. 이것은 나중에 차후에 증강현실을 갖다 적용을 하기에도 이 완벽하게 3D를 구현할 수 있다는 것은 가장 큰 이점이 될 수 있으리라 생각되고 있습니다.
One research institute estimated over 20 million units of smart eyeglasses may be sold by the year 2018. The consumer interest and area of applications smart eyewear could be enormous. The eyewear could be handy for surgeons who can have both of their hands free to operate on a patient while checking the patient's internal and external state information. It could ease the work in the fields like military and architectural designing that requires precision.
소비재 가전뿐만 아니라 교육, 의료, 오락, 게임 산업 등 또한 국방 산업 분야 등에 적용을 할 수 있습니다. 특히 이동성을 필요로 하는 분야에서는 더욱더 그 가치를 발휘할 것입니다.
For wearable smart eyewear and display to expand, the devices must become as simple, convenient, and affordable as smartphones. Through continued research and development, smart eyewear and glasses could one day become indispensable necessities in our lives.
If you have the misfortune to be in a car accident, your car's black box can determine who was responsible. As a result, black boxes are becoming must-have items among Korean motorists. But black boxes don't simply take images of the car's front and rear. They can also ensure safe driving and even prevent your car from being stolen. And they do all this by connecting the black box with the driver's smartphone. As a result, black boxes are becoming the core technology in the smart car of the future.
The vehicle video recorder, or black box, is evolving further with the help of information and communications technology. We introduce you to smarter black boxes that enable drivers to check information on their cars anytime and anywhere, and that can even prevent traffic accidents. A black box is a device that saves operation records of airplanes or ships. It's used as a key tool to analyze causes of accidents. But nowadays, when we say black boxes, we first think of cars. As such, car black boxes are used widely. The car black box, in its initial stages, only functioned as a driving video recorder. But today, it's evolving into a smart black box that touts powerful additional features. Drivers are worried that something might happen to their parked cars. When your car is in a collision or when your car is stolen or towed, if you cannot find out about the incident soon, you will not be able to deal with the situation immediately, even if the car has a black box. But now, car owners can put aside such worries. They can monitor the status and information of their cars in HD-level images on their smartphones, regardless of time and space.
LTE 블랙박스는 지금까지 어떤 블랙박스와 다르게 통신 LTE 모뎀이 탑재된 통신형 블랙박스입니다. 그래서 사고가 발생할 시에는 언제 어디서나 쉽고 빠르게 사고 영상을 확인할 수 있습니다. 메모리 카드를 따로 뽑아서 확인할 필요가 없고요. 그리고 만약에 사고가 나게 되면 그 사고가 발생 즉시 사고의 알람 메시지가 등록된 사람에게 전달이 되게 되고 그것을 받은 고객은 자연스럽게 자신이 등록되어 있는 자신의 스마트폰으로 그 사고 영상을 직접 확인할 수 있습니다.
When the black box senses an impact on the vehicle or the vehicle being towed, it will immediately send a text message to the owner's smartphone. The owner can deal with the situation early on because the black box sends a smartphone message citing the location of the accident as well as a video clip that captures 20 seconds before and after the accident.
이미 사고가 났을 때 그 사고 영상이 블랙박스 내에 말고 저희 LG U 플러스 박스 내에도 또 다르게 영상이 존재할 수 있기 때문에 블랙박스 내의 사고 영상은 지워지더라도 U 플러스 박스에 전송된 영상은 언제 어디서나 확인할 수 있습니다.
The black box industry has been mainly developing its hardware functions, such as resolution, picture quality, and multi-channel touchscreens, but is now competing fiercely for software functions. Korea's black box market has been growing rapidly from 2008 to 2012, but the growth has slowed from 2013. As a result, the industry is developing various additional features based on the black box's real-time recorded images. Sometimes, drivers may stray from the intended lanes without knowing or by dozing off while driving. When a running car leaves the lane without flipping the turn signals, the black box will alert the driver.
디바이스가 이제 그 자체적으로 길에 있는 그 라인을 인식을 해서 캘리브레이션이 맞춰지면 그 상태에서 그 가상의 두 개의 라인이 그 길에 있는 라인과 맞춰져서 화면상에 보이게 되고요. 그 라인이 그 아무 때나 나오는 게 아니라 다시 그 안에 그 레인 디패처 기능 안에 속도를 세팅하는 값이 있습니다. 한국을 기준으로 봤을 때는 서울 같은 데는 평균 속도가 낮을 수밖에 없거든요. 길이 많이 밀리기 때문에. 저희가 이 안에 그 속도 세팅이 있고 그 속도 이상을 올라가야지만 그 레인 디패처 기능이 작동하게 되어 있는 시스템으로 되어 있고요.
The black box alerts you when there is a risk of collision as the distance between your car and the car in front narrows. As the use of smartphones increased when driving, the driver sometimes does not notice even after the car in front has started moving. The black box recognizes the movement of the car in front, so it alerts you as soon as the car in front moves, so you do not miss the timing to move.
일단 차가 완전히 정지한 상태에서 이 두 제품은 그 빌트인 GPS가 들어가 있습니다. 그래서 속도 값이 제로인 상태가 됐을 때 앞쪽에 내 앞차 앞쪽에 물체가 있는 걸 감지를 하고 그 물체가 무빙 오프 하게 되면 그 앞차 출발 알림을 화면과 그다음에 소리로 알려주게 되어 있습니다.
Now, the industry is also developing smart black boxes that eliminate blind spots with 4 cameras installed from every direction to clearly determine how an accident has happened. Using wireless communications, it automatically collects black box footages from nearby cars and captures images of the car seen from above using GPS signals. In this way, it thoroughly reconstructs an accident in 3-dimensional images.
스마트카로 발전하게 되면 블랙박스를 넘어서는 굉장히 다양한 IoT 디바이스들이 차량 전면, 후면, 측면을 다 소위 말해서 도배를 하게 될 것이다. 그렇게 되면 자연히 그것이 스마트폰을 통해서든 차량이 자체적으로 가지고 있는 네트워크를 통해서든 소위 말하는 클라우드로 연결이 돼가지고 자동차가 어떤 가이드된 도로 주행을 할 수 있도록 그래서 그 차에 탄 사람들의 안전을 최우선으로 하는 아마 그런 시대를 이끌게 될 것이다. 이렇게 전망합니다.
Beyond its original function of recording visual data, black boxes are evolving into an intelligent traffic service control tower. It's set to become a core device of the smart car era.
North Koreans suffer from very limited freedoms, and their country is notorious for abusing the human rights of its citizens. But now there is a way for some people to acquire certain rights and freedoms, and that is by buying them. Bribery is now rampant across North Korean society. Illegal acts are tolerated, and even the instructions of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un are overlooked due to corruption. So, how significant is corruption in North Korea, and what changes is it heralding?
Money talks in most human societies. In North Korea, where universal freedom and human rights are rigidly controlled and suppressed, money can even buy freedom and rights. How deep an epidemic has corruption become in North Korea? According to defectors, even the simplest public works cannot be done without handing over kickbacks.
북한 사회라는 것도 지금 있잖아. 돈이면 거인 있잖아. 통한다는 거예요. 그러니까 내가 가지고 싶은 물건도 돈만 있으면 살 수 있고 구입할 수 있고 이렇대요.
뇌물이 아니면은 뭐든지 할 수 없는 지경에 이르렀습니다. 뇌물이 안 통하는 데가 거의 없다고 보면 이제 됩니다.
North Korea ranked at the bottom of Transparency International's 2014 Corruption Perceptions Index. It received 8 on a scale of 100 to 0. Corruption is that rampant and ingrained in North Korea. Since traveling is restricted in North Korea, bribes are essential when people hit the road for not just common trips, but also every time they travel beyond their town or border.
여행 증명서를 있어야만이 한 발이라도 나갈 수 있어요. 그런데 그 증명서를 기항기업소에서 이렇게 신청해서 이렇게 가작이 되면은 힘들지 않아요. 그러는 게 차라리 돈을 주고 이렇게 발급받아가지고 가는 그런 게 더 많았어요. 근데 그 여행증이 없이 내가 불법으로 탔지 않아요. 그러면 단속이 되면은 그 사람들한테 이렇게 줄 뇌물 준비를 대신 해갖고 가요.
Workers that North Korea officially sends overseas to earn hard foreign currencies also must pay every time they cross the border.
해외 근로자들 경우에 적게는 이제 1,000불부터 많게는 3,000불, 주로는 5,000불까지도 이제 그 나가는 걸 하는 노동가 간부한테 예물을 주고야 이제 러시아든 중국이든 해외로 지금 이제 나갈 수 있다고 합니다.
North Korean borders are one of the heaviest armed places in the world. Security is tight to keep watch on defectors and smugglers. But it is loosened and exceptions are made with ease and impunity when money is handed over.
저도 국경경비대한테다가 이렇게 돈을 주고 그리고 왔다 갔다 이렇게 장사로 좀 했댔거든요. 처음에 북한이 이렇게 먹을 것이 없을 때 저도 이렇게 도강했는 데는 경비대 아들한테 있잖아요. 이렇게 한번 넘어올 때 있잖아요. 중국 돈으로 100원도 주고 200원도 주고 조금 내가 좀 장사 잘 되고 그렇게 하면 500원도 주고 이렇게 하면 돈을 주고 중국 돈으로 주고 북한 돈은 통하지 않는 거예요.
Bribes can even bend rules and commands from almighty ruler Kim Jong-un. The regime has toughened border security by proclaiming defecting as an act of the highest treason. But defectors testify they were able to cross the river and go on their way by paying the security guards.
저희 90년대 탈북할 때부터 그 군인들한테 경비대 군인한테 이제 돈 준 것이 생겼는데 최근에는 점점 그 액수가 이제 높아져 가지고 최근에는 1인당 성인 1인당 탈북하려면 최소 4,000불 내지 5,000불이 있어야 군인들이 그 탈북 도강 비용으로 받고 이제 넘겨주는 사례가 점점 늘어나고 그 이상 비용도 지금 요구하는 경우가 있는 걸로 알려지고 있습니다.
Smuggling and circulation of South Korean TV dramas and films are strictly controlled and clamped down. Still, people can easily get access to them by paying them a few bucks.
일단 걸려가지고 그것을 사건화 처리하게 되면은 처벌은 아주 강력한 겁니다. 교화 몇 년, 5년, 6년 교화를 가고 심한 경우에는 사형까지도 처해지는, 공개 처형까지 처해지는 경우가 많죠. 그러니까 누구는 돈이 좀 있어서 걸리면 그 자리에서 바로 이제 뇌물을 통해서 살아남는데 돈이 없는 경우에는 뇌물이 없어서 사형까지 당하는 그런 억울한 경우가 상당수 있죠.
Up until the mid-1980s, corruption was practically non-existent in North Korea.
북한은 이제 사회주의 국가고 국가에서 모든 걸 다 제공해주고 화폐가 필요 없기 때문에 1980년대 후반까지만 하더라도 북한은 그 뇌물이 없었습니다. 거의 없는 사회라 할 수 있는데 이제 1990년대 전후에서 사회주의가 붕괴되어지고 그리고 북한이 이제 90년대 중후반부터 고난의 행군이 시작되면서부터 국가가 주민들에게 제공해줄 수 있는 부분이 없죠.
So how did the culture of bribery begin? It sprouted with the birth and growth of a marketplace that made self-enrichment possible.
지금 북한의 경제는 뭐 장마당이 이끌어간다고 해도 과언이 아닌데 그 장마당을 특히 중심으로 해가지고 그 뇌물이 공공연하게 되어지고 또 장마당을 관리 감독해야 될 당 간부나 또 행정 관리들이 이 결탁되어져서 뇌물이 성행되어지는 그런 현상을 보여줬다고 볼 수 있는 것이죠.
Bribes have become both the driver and byproduct of private market activities. The burgeoning of the underground economy has widened the gap between official earnings of North Korea and real market prices. The official salaries of North Koreans cannot even buy 1 kilogram of rice grain from the market. Government officials who live off from the state payroll inevitably have to rely on extra cash made from their side jobs of collecting bribes to feed their family as well.
당, 군 간부들이 사실 국가에서 충분히 제공해 줄 수 있는 상황이 아니기 때문에 또 월급이라고 줘봤자 거의 뭐 사실 생활하는 데 있어 가지고 거의 뭐 아주 기초적인 것도 해결하지 못하기 때문에 어쩔 수 없이 당 간부, 고위 군번 간부들도 시장에 의존할 수밖에 없습니다. 근데 이들은 이제 감독, 지휘 계급이기 때문에 장마당을 감독해야 되겠죠. 그러다 보면 이제 그 어떤 갖고 있는 권력이나 지위를 이용해 가지고 장마당 상인들로부터 주민들로부터 이제 뇌물을 받게 되고 그 뇌물 받은 걸 가지고 또 고위 간부들에게 또 상납하게 되고 그야말로 이렇게 뇌물의 연쇄적인 어떤 사슬이 형성되어 있다.
North Korean citizens must pay bribes to buy food and freedom. Officials take them to sustain their livelihood. The bribery culture is the price of sticking to a contradictory system and underscores the fragility of the leadership it hinges on.
And that's all we have time for on Bizline this week. But do join us again next week, because when it comes to ads on mobile devices, companies have a very limited time window, at most 5 seconds, to catch the eye of the consumer. And this is just one manifestation of an overall trend of consuming content at high speed, rather like eating a snack instead of a full meal. In next week's Bizline, we'll be taking a closer look at this so-called snack culture, which is infiltrating various content sectors. Meanwhile, milk, once considered a highly desirable foodstuff and part of a balanced diet, is being discarded across Korea. Why so? We'll find out next time. So, do join us then, but that's all for now. I'm Andrew Salmon. This was Bizline. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.